You smell that, Guardian? A new season is upon us, so you know what that means. Some brand new ugly armor to go make memes out of. No! It means we have a trippy new Vex activity to go pillage for gear. And since we're going to be destroying everything Vex related in sight, why not do it the best way I know how? With an over-the-top Titan build that has it all. So if you like freezing everything, making Warmind cells, and committing war crimes on aliens, then you're definitely in the right place. What's up, my fellow weirdos? How are you? I feel like it's been forever. Most of you who follow this channel know I don't make stasis builds. Not because it's due to in Crucible. No, I just prefer the light subclasses. But I will hand it to Bungie. They do a really good job on making the aspects and fragments synergize well. So good, in fact, that I actually decided to give in to the dark side and put a build together that's perfect for the new Override Horde mode. But enough of my backstory, let's get into it already. This will be a Charged Light, Elemental Well, and Warmind Cell build. Yes, you heard right, we'll be using all three. I'll go over the subclass, mods, weapons, and the exotics to tie this all together, starting off with the Stasis subclass. For the aspects, we'll be using Howl of the Storm and Tectonic Harvest. Howl of the Storm launches a wave of stasis energy forward when you activate your charged melee while sliding, which is a bit slept on in PvE, at least in my opinion. And Tectonic Harvest creates these little shards that grant you melee energy when you shatter a stasis crystal. For the fragments, we'll be using Whisper of Shards, Whisper of Torment, Whisper of Impetus, and Whisper of Chains. That's a lot of whispering going on. Whisper of Shards to boost your grenade recharge rate when shattering a crystal. It also gives you plus 10 resilience. Whisper of Torment to give you grenade energy each time you take damage from targets. It's not a lot, but every bit helps. Whisper of Impetus reloads your stowed weapons and grants a temporary boost to weapon ready speed when damaging a target with the stasis melee. And who doesn't like having their weapons reloaded all the time? I know I do. If you aren't feeling Whisper of Impetus, you could swap it out with something like Whisper of Fractures, and this build will still work great. Whisper of Fractures recharges your melee faster when you're near 2 or more targets. It does give you minus 10 discipline, but I didn't even notice it with all the other buffs going on. And the final fragment is Whisper of Chains, for a 25% damage reduction when you're near frozen targets or a friendly stasis crystal. And this gives you plus 10 recovery as well. Moving over to the mods, this will be a 3 Elemental Well, 1 Charged Light, and 1 Warmind Cell setup. The Elemental Well mods are Elemental Charge, which gives you 2 stacks of Charged Light every time you pick up an Elemental Well matching your subclass energy type. Font of Wisdom, for a big old bump in your intellect when picking up an Elemental Well that matches your subclass. And Elemental Ordnance, which has the chance to drop an Elemental Well when killing an enemy with a grenade. This includes shattering the crystals of an enemy that was frozen by your grenade. The Charged Light mod is Reactive Pulse, because what better way to help create chaos than by bouncing ads around like a ragdoll? Seriously though, if you've never used this mod, you should really check it out. Anytime you take damage while charged with light, Reactive Pulse sends out a shockwave of arc energy, consuming 1 stack. It also has a secondary perk that is only active if you have another arc mod socketed in as well. That perk gives you a powerful overshield while performing a finisher. And the final major mod is any Warmind cell of your choosing. For real, it's up to you. I started off with Warmind's Protection for the extra resistance, but I ended up switching to Burning Cells because I was kind of feeling the whole fire and ice thing, like the Destiny's version of some butt lube. Plus, I'm not really sure if Warmind's Protection stacks with Whisper of Chains. I have a feeling it doesn't, and even though I tried testing it, I couldn't really tell. For the minor mods, I stacked Hands On twice on the helmet to give you super energy when using your melee, Momentum Transfer on the arms to reduce melee cooldown when causing damage with a grenade, Concussive Dampener and melee damage resistance on the chest piece to reduce splash damage and point blank range damage, especially since you're going to be at point blank range a lot anyways. Innervation and Absolution on the legs to reduce grenade and all ability cooldowns whenever you pick up an orb. And Bomber twice on the Titan mark to reduce grenade cooldown when using your class ability. Now the part I know you've all been waiting for, the exotics. For the armor, I went with Heart of Inmost Light. I know, it's a common choice, but you can't deny the ability regeneration. It's just so good. It's one of those exotics you can't pass up. The exotic perk reads, Overflowing Light. Using an ability, grenade, melee, or barricade empowers the other 2 abilities. Empowered means abilities have faster regen, melees and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. For the weapons, I used an Icalos SMG with Demolitionist and the 7 Seraph Saw to create Warmind cells, and the Witherhoard for the extra chaos and crowd control along with helping you get your abilities back faster. You will, no joke, be a 1 Titan Army, scary enough to make Saint 14 pee a little. Seriously, he'll probably dribble down his leg. How this build works and flows together is by throwing your Glacier Grenade at some ads and then shooting the Witherhoard right next to the Stasis Crystals, but not at it because the Wither Blob will just bounce. I found that out the hard way and killed myself. The Witherhoard shot will kill the frozen enemies along with destroying the crystals, which will boost your grenade recharge rate from Whisper of Shards. It'll also leave little stasis shards from Tectonic Harvest and an Elemental Well at the same time. Collecting the shards and Elemental Well will buff your melee and intellect. In between all this, you should be using Howl of the Storm to freeze more enemies and create more crystals to buff your grenades even faster. You will also be taking reduced damage when you're near crystals or frozen enemies, and trust me, there will be a lot of crystals. While all this is happening, you're getting buffs to your grenade and melee damage along with a faster recharge rate from Heart of Inmost Light. And to really put the icing on the cake, you can start killing ads with the Icalos SMG or 7 Seraph Saw to create Warmind cells. When you destroy a Warmind cell, it'll burn the enemies from Burning Cell and blow up all the crystals around you to give more grenade energy and create shards. If some of those crystals were from a grenade, it'll drop Elemental Wells as well, and the cycle of X destruction continues. This is officially my favorite Stasis build to date. It has Warmind cells, fast supers, and ability regen, but my favorite part is the fun factor. And if you're not playing games for fun, then what are you doing? If you found this video helpful, a like would be greatly appreciated, but more importantly, be a good person to one another, and have a fantastic day. Thank you!